Welcome back to Track and Field
by Chico.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Very ready.
Always. Some more. This ain't not the
Alright, Mark.
Yes.
5 things you always carry in your gym bag.
Number 1, bands. Number 2, cones. Number 3, no, gym bag, not cones. Foam roller. Number 3, massage gun. Cool gel. And number 5, a massage ball.
You don't drink any water?
Oh yes, I do.
Okay.
That's obvious. That's it.
Why you putting a stink face?
Stink face?
Yeah.
Then it always comes automatic.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Very ready.
Always.
You've been away for a minute now. What event are you planning to run?
Planning to do 200 at most, just to just get the feeling and just enjoy how it feels to run 200. Because the past 2 years, I've discovered that I'm also good at 200. It's been a fight here and there because I think the reason why I didn't want to take 200 because it's a hard event, to be honest. But just going through training and experiencing how to run a 200, I'm loving it.
Okay.
Yes.
And how is it like staying out of track for 2 years?
It's humbling, number 1. Number 2, it's difficult because when you see just guys running, guys competing, and you yourself, you don't have that chance of doing it. I'll say it's painful. It's like, for example, let me use this example, like when you're grounded in the house, you can't get out, but you can still hear kids outside playing. And of course, when you ask your mom that you want to go out, but the mom is like, no, you're grounded, you can't get out of the house for like a week, and you can just hear your friends having fun, enjoying themselves. It's painful. It's really painful.
And on that question, you've also been training.
Yes.
And there's no competitions. How does that feel? 2 years no competition.
Well, the thing is, you just have to channel your mind by train as if you're in the season, even though there's no competition. And at one point, when you want to run, just do like a time trial. Just gauge where you are. Nice. Keep working. And when the season ends with people, close with them. Of course, you've been doing your part diligently, but it's just one part that's missing, which is just the racing.
Do you feel you're rusty?
Well, no, I don't feel like I'm rusty. But the only part that I'll feel everything is quite different. It's now when I'm in a competition. To be honest, there's no pressure. Number 1. Number 2 is that I just want to have fun and see where I'm at. And I've realized that it's normal to start with where you are. But my aim was just not to anticipate, but just to listen to the gun. So I just went there to get a good reaction, get a good execution as well. So that's what I did, and I executed how I used to execute during my training. So, and I've realized they're both different, and I wasn't panicking, but the good thing is that it was just mixed emotions of just having that feeling of just being in a competition. That's now when things will start feeling different. But when you're in training, things are still the same. At least you're working on things that you're meant to work on. But now when you're training competition, it's a different feeling than training.
You have a PB of 10:05.
Cool, bro.
Yes.
And you've not raced for 2 years.
Yes.
What are your expectations when you come back? Your first race?
The thing is, I do have a good team, and the first thing that they said is just, as long as I'm running, the first thing, that's enough. But for me personally, of course, I do have my own expectation, which I would say, but for various reasons. But no pressure on my end, no pressure also personally on myself, and it's just a matter of getting in and have fun. That's the thing, just to get in back in the competition and just enjoy the process again, start all over again, and now start thinking going forward in terms of times, in terms of now what to do next.
But why track? Why track and field? And it's a very expensive sport.
The thing is just I'm dyslexia, so it's something that the meaning of dyslexia is like you have disabilities of, let me say, studies in short. Like you are, in terms of schoolwork, you're not performing really well.
Yeah.
So the thing is just I realized that I have a talent. I did play football, but I ventured into track and field because I had passion, and number two, it's a calling. And I was like, since I have this, let me use this to my advantage, and that's one thing that I've realized that it has taken me this far.
And if you're not doing track and field, what will you be doing today? Any other sport?
Any other sport? I'll say I'm more, because I've been learning track and field, I've been learning about fitness. These are things that, in fact, even when you're in it, you have to learn a lot of things about it. So I think in the near future, when I retire, I'd love to venture into fitness and things like that, and also coach upcoming athletes, because I can't stay with this knowledge and die with it. Yeah, so I have to also invest in someone else and also see someone reach their fitness goals in the future.
Nice. Do you know bobsled?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever thought of it? I mean, after track?
After track, someone mentioned it a few years ago. That was back in early 2021, and I was like, it's a winter sport, and it's something so good, but I've never gotten any interest about it, but I'll think about it.
Because with bobsled, you don't have to sprint a whole 100 meters. You just sprint like around 40 meters, and then you slide in.
But yeah, let's wait and see. If that's the case when I retire and it's another brand new door that will open, I'm willing to try it.
All right. All right. So a bobsled is a team winter sport that involves making timed runs down a narrow, twisting and a banked ice tracks in a gravity-powered sleigh. I mean, note, it's called a gravity-powered sleigh. Does not have an engine, does not use any gas. It is gravity-powered. And for fast-timers, they reach up to speeds of about 125 kilometers per hour, experiencing about 3 to 4 G-forces. This one, you'll definitely feel it on your back and your neck. For competitive bobsledders, the athletes will reach up to speeds of about 155 kilometers per hour, experiencing about 5 to 6 G-forces. A G-force is, for example, when you're taking a flight, when it goes up, the moment you leave the ground and to the air, whatever you feel, it's like gravity is pulling you down. That's what we call a G-force. Anyways, back to the interview. Would you consider yourself a talented or a hard worker?
Talented.
Talented? Yes. Nice. And being away for 2 years, have you learned anything regarding track?
Yes, I've learned that, especially for myself, I've learned that I'm strong in terms of I'm not normally pushed when it comes to doing things. I'm self-driven, and I've learned that I'm patient. That's, another thing is I'm trying to look for the third one. I wrote them down. Let me say those two first. Yes.
The first trip you went in Bahamas.
Yes.
What did you learn?
I learned that if anything is achievable, and I can reach where these guys have reached. And especially my inspiration, I saw Bolt physically for the first time, Justin Gatlin, Tyson Gay, and I saw those guys running, and the incredible speed that those guys have. Woo! It's out of this world. So it's something that it gave me a good exposure, just something to realize that it's achievable. Yes, and here we are. Yes.
You do have a coach, right?
Yes, I do.
But you don't train with him physically?
Yes.
I know many athletes do have coaches, but when the coach doesn't show up, they Skype training. But you train without a coach. How is it?
Well, I'll say it's quite difficult, especially when you start. But it's more of discipline. And then again, the thing is, you know that it's your job to do so. At the end of the day, it's a matter of you channeling yourself and making it to that training session and at least make it done. And if you don't have, if you don't know a clear line of what you're doing, you can always ask questions, like ask your coach, like, how do I do this and this? Because of course there are videos to show. That's how we both work. And I've been doing this for the past, I'll say, 5 years now. I've had like even 2 other coaches before my former coach right now, who's in South Africa. So the thing is, they'll send a workout. If I'm not familiar with, I'll always ask and learn and grow from there.
This is 2023, 2024. Guys are running faster. I remember in my era, the nationals used to be won by 10.5, 10.6. If it was really fast, it was about 10.4. Right now, if you don't have a 10.3, you're not in the finals. How come guys are running faster than 3, 4 years ago?
I think training has changed. If you keep doing the old things, you won't get a different result. So the thing, whatever that I've realized with sprints for the past 5 years of my experience, because ever since I entered, guys were winning with 10.5, going to Commonwealth, and that's the farthest that you could go. And I believe at that time guys were maturing as well, and guys were growing, guys were training. And I think at that time now, that's when a different aspect of training was reaching specific people. So that's why times were getting at least kind of better according to our own standards. And I've now going forward to 2015, 16, 17, you now see guys going into 10.3s, 10.2s, because now you see now training keeps on changing with, you know, very different coaches. It's a matter of studying, seeing what works for your athlete, what doesn't work. Personally, for me, I've seen what works, what doesn't work, and you can see an improvement in what works. And sometimes what doesn't work can't give you that much of a benefit, so you scrap that out. And that's what I've seen in the past years. Now you see we've reached that elite level, 977, because you can see running sub 10 is achievable, because during those times you could see that running those times were difficult. Depending with the conditions that we were in.
And on that note, I can see you're wearing the new generation spikes.
Yes.
Do you think it has contributed, or does it matter wearing any type of spikes?
I've seen it all, and I remember telling someone that it's just your own shape, to be honest. You can wear shoes, can't give you that much of a boost. Because
you ran your personal best with the old generation spikes.
Yes.
Nice.
It's a spike that I can't consider it to run fast. I just wore it because I didn't have any shoes. And right now, since I've tested various spikes, especially except the new Adidas one, and I've realized even with the new Puma, I haven't tested those, but I've seen they still give you kind of the same results. But I've realized it's just the shape that you're in. It's what really counts. Because if you put all your effort on a shoe, to be honest, a shoe can't give you anything.
Nice.
It's just a type of wear to make you run.
So in short, it's all in the mind, and it's about your shape.
Exactly. It's about your shape. You work hard, wear the shoe that you want. Even Usain Bolt, if you see the spike that he wore, it's not like...
Oh, the world record is not about the shoe.
Exactly.
Nice.
It's not about the shoe.
Okay.
It's about your training.
Now that OTIENO is back, do you have any messages for OTIENO?
The messages to myself, I'll say the future is bright. The future is bright. Don't worry about tomorrow, there's tomorrow's grace. So focus on today. Yeah.
And what makes you good in sprints?
Sorry?
What makes you good in sprinting?
That's a tough question. A good one, but a tough one. What makes me good? Paraphrase it in another sentence.
You're a good sprinter. You're one of the best in Kenya. What makes you so good?
I'll say...
I mean, apart from being disciplined, because you don't have a coach and you still coming for training.
That's what I think. I'll let somebody else answer it, because I don't want
to
lift myself up in a position that I can't.
Okay, let me ask the people around here.
Yes, sir. No.
John left.
Yes.
One question.
Yeah.
Makoteni is a good sprinter.
Yeah.
What makes him a good sprinter? In your own opinion?
Yeah, the discipline, eh? Yeah.
Oh, the discipline.
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
And effort.
And
Effort.
effort.
Yeah.
Nice. Let me ask this guy here. Asafa.
Yep.
I have a question.
Yes.
OTIENO is a very good sprinter.
Yep.
What makes him a good sprinter?
Pardon?
What makes him a good sprinter?
I think I'll say the form, because this guy can maintain good form during his high-speed running, and also the first 40 is his race.
Ah, nice. Msani,
Yes.
OTIENO is a good sprinter. What makes him a good sprinter?
Actually, compared to Mark, number one, Mark is that one is it's inbuilt. He's talented. It's not anything to do with like working hard or anything, but that one he's a talented sprinter. You see, there's a difference between being talented
And hard
and
working.
working and hard working.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's what distinguishes Mark and some others.
Does nutrition really matter? Or you just eat anything?
Nutrition really matter. It doesn't. I wouldn't say that it depends with what you eat, but again, judging by financial pockets with our athletes, I'll say that you just find the cheapest things to do, the cheapest things to do, and to eat. Sorry, not even to do. In terms of like the cheapest protein, in terms of beans, things like that. So those are things that. We as athletes, we depending with your pocket that you can achieve, but I'll say nutrition really matters because you can't depend on anything, because when you eat anything you can generalize it in terms of like eating junk food, which that's forbidden. Things like sugar, just have to cut on sugar. Things like cake, kind of old stuff, soda. So you have to cut on things that won't benefit you on the track.
Speaking of junk food,
Yes.
if you had to eat one type of junk food for the rest of your life, what will it be?
I say sticky wings
Sticky wings.
from KFC.
Okay.
Yes.
And describe your worst sports performance in athletics.
The worst sports performance in terms of like what times of that you've run.
Doesn't matter. Could be times. Could be you're defeated.
Let me say, okay, defeat. I'll say it's also a part of the game, but I would say to describe the worst part is like running a slower time
Yep.
that you didn't expect. That's from me.
And do you have a favorite workout session?
Yes, favorite workout session. I'll say now I do love running 300s.
300.
Yes. They're tough, but they're good.
Nice.
Nowadays. Yes.
Okay. And when did you start loving 300s?
I'll say this season.
This season.
Yes, this season.
Nice.
Yeah.
And speaking of 300s, what's your view on long runs?
It won't benefit you as an athlete. That's what I can say. Long runs are meant for long distance athletes. When you just genuinely see it, because when you see sprinters are built with a different type of muscle, they are fast twitch muscle fiber. So when you recruit a long distance running, that it won't help
So you train.
an athlete. It will make an athlete slower rather than faster.
So you're trying to say the moment you stopped doing long runs is the moment your performance started spiking.
Yes, yes. Because for sprinters, doing long runs won't help you at all, no matter what you are, no matter what. So if you're a sprinter, you're purely a sprinter. No matter even if it's 200, 100, 400. So if you do things like, for example, 600, 800s, they won't help you. You're recruiting your muscle into something that it's not for a sprinter.
Yeah. And you've been away for 2 years. You're coming back, and you do not want to tell us what event you're going to run first. Could it be the 800 meters or maybe the 400? Who knows?
Yes. If my coach says that your first event is the 400, hey, he's my opponent.
So it's your coach to decide, not you.
Yes,
I like.
If he says like you can just be just one 400, I'll go for it. I'll go for it.
And do you have a slogan?
Slogan in terms of hashtag something?
Yep.
I'll say building big engines for big performance.
Build big engines for big performance.
Yes.
Nice.
And I think you also have another one. Hashtag Mark is back.
Yes, that's a new one.
Nice.
But it will change as we go.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
as you go. Since you can't dwell on Mark is back and it's still in middle
True,
of season.
true,
So
true.
we'll look for a new one.
So build big machines,
building big engines for big performance.
big engines for big performance.
Yes.
Nice. What's your favorite food
My
and
favorite
drink?
My favorite food is mashed potato, chicken, and fried chicken, grilled chicken.
And one last question.
Yes.
What frustrates you? About track and field in Kenya, especially during the meets?
I'll say when it comes to, I see people's potential and guys who wants to perform but they can't perform depending on the circumstances. That's one thing that frustrates me, and I believe in the near future we're heading there. So hopefully we'll be getting faster times and reaching the level that guys out there are reaching.
All right, Mark OTIENO, you're watching Track and Field
By Chico, share and subscribe.
Nice.